I wanted to tell everyone a little bit about NWEA map testing. Today in this video I'm going to show you how to log in, how to find your sessions, whether you're a classroom teacher or a specialist doing testing. I am going to show you exactly what the screen looks like when you're testing students, and then I'm also going to show you how to locate accommodations if you're just checking to make sure that your students' accommodations are in the test. So if you're ever in a bind and just can't figure out the site and you want to Google it, you can just Google NWEA, and this is the site that will pop up. You're going to go ahead at the top and click Login, Map Growth. When that pops up, this will be your login screen. Most of you probably saved your password and stuff, so it should already be in there. Just click Login. After that, this is the screen you'll get to. This is the part of, so this web address right up here, this is the one we need to actually go in and test students. Once you're in here and you're looking for your students, just hit Manage Test Sessions from the column over on the left here. And this is what's going to pop up. Your screen is going to be a little bit different than mine if you're a classroom teacher. So I'm going to first show classroom teachers how to go ahead and log in for their students. So if you're a classroom teacher, it's going to look pretty much identical. Everybody might have less from their drop-down menu over here. Don't worry about that. You'll have find students to test right here. And then classroom teachers, yours is different than mine because this says test my class. That will be lit up blue on your screen. I do not have that because I don't have a class in the system. So I'm going to show you what that looks like real quick here. Right here, this is exactly what your screen will look like. So you will have find students to test, and then you'll also have test my class. For classroom teachers, when you are looking for your roster and you are looking to test your students, you do not need to do what we've done in previous years as far as going down here, clicking show so that your students pop up, creating a name down here, any of that. You don't need to do that. All you're going to do is click test my class. Once you do that, the next screen that's going to pop up is going to be this one right here. You're going to go ahead and click this top one, Betsy Ross attendance, because you want your whole class to come up based upon attendance. So you want all 20-some students in your class to show up so that you can test them. Then you're going to click test now. Once you do that, you're going to have your testing screen pop right up. Okay, next I'm going to show all of our specialists one more time how to do that. So for our specialists, your screen is going to look like this. You are going to click show down here, and then this will open up for you. Your name is going to be auto-populated here. What you're going to need to do is put in Curtis, wait a couple seconds. Once you do that, I'll show you with a different name. Once you wait a couple seconds, a drop down like this will come on, and you're going to click the top one that says Curtis. So I don't need to do that because that is my name. So here are all the lists that I have created. There are some listed here, and then there's a second page that you can see right here. It is not in alphabetical order. It kind of is here, but it doesn't once you start testing students. It will, the last group tested will automatically go to the top. So while it's in alphabetical order now, don't expect it to be when you're testing. What you're going to do is, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and click on something that is a group. So when I click right here, you'll see that it changed, and now these things are no longer grayed out, they are lit up because I've selected something. So if this is my group that I'm working on, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to click test now. That means I'm ready to test, and you're going to see what happens. For our classroom teachers, that's exactly what's going to happen to you as well once you have selected test now and selected your by attendance. So this is the exact same screen you will have. The next thing that you're going to need to do, there are no testing tickets for this test. Instead, this information right up here is the information that you need. So right over here, this is going to be the session name that each of your students enter in. For our classroom teachers, that is going to change every time you log in. For our specialists, that is going to be the same every single time. So what I suggest you do is if you have a whiteboard in your room, just go ahead and write on the whiteboard what your session name is, and then underneath that, in a second row, I would also write down the 4-digit password. Your password is always going to be a 4-digit number. But that one, no matter if you're a classroom teacher or a specialist, that is going to change every time you log in to a different testing session or the same testing session. So after you get to this part, for all of our specialists, all the work is done for you. All of your test assignments have been loaded in already. So if you're on Monday doing a reading test, then this is a Wednesday group. They are doing the reading test that day, so it is already loaded in there for them. So everything's done. If you're doing a math test, that's already loaded in. For classroom teachers, you are going to need to select the test that you want your students to take, or they could do that actually once you have them logged in. The test that you want to select from the drop-down menu, there are 2 tests for our second grade students that you would fit in. We want, for all of our students, we want the one that says, I believe it says 2 through 5 Common Core. So that is the one. So this, it looks just like this, except it might say math instead, but you want this one. There's also one that our second graders might think they take. It's K through 2. That is not the one we want. We always want the one that says 2 through 5. So please be sure to click on that one. Couple more things that I wanted to show you about really just have to do with when you're in here. So I showed you that once you get to this screen, you just scroll down and you can see all of your students here. While you're testing, you will notice that it will tell you the number of questions that they have and that they are on. So for example, if your first student in your group is pretty quick test taker, and he's on question 17, and maybe that seems normal to you, you may have your next student who is not taking their time and just kind of clicking through the answers, and they might be on question 35 already. You might have another one who's only on question 5. So basically, this student who's on question 35, you need to go back, you need to make sure that you tell them, take your time, please make sure you read everything, those types of prompts. This student over here who's only on question 5, that might be perfectly fine. Maybe they're a slow reader or something like that. The other possibility is that you just need to prompt them a little bit more and make sure that they're staying focused during the session. So just for you, so that you can monitor, that's where that's at, and you always have that available to you. So feel free to check on that. This section over here was a new section last year. Basically, you have, it'll pop up while you're testing. I can't remember exactly what it says, but it kind of reads whether they're paying attention or not. I don't know how accurate it truly is. I didn't find a whole lot with it last year, but basically it'll tell you kind of whether they're clicking through or not moving fast enough. But I didn't find that very helpful last year, but it is there if you want to take a look at it. This row right here tells you if a student has accommodations. You can see that the students in this group do have accommodations. If you want to see exactly what those accommodations are, you can actually just scroll over the student's last name and it will tell you, just a box will pop up with those accommodations. So you don't even need to click on anything for that. That is pretty much it. If you're ever having any issues once you are ready to start, it'll say on their test kind of ready to start or ready to confirm, and then you just click confirm now right here, and then it should work for all of your students. Some of them are slower, some of the iPads or devices are slower to react than others, and that's perfectly fine, that's normal. If you're still having problems after a couple minutes, you could always try the refresh page and do it again. Another thing you can do is you can click this arrow or this arrow and see what else you can find to help you. There's a thing here that says to be confirmed. You may need to click on an individual student or something like that that's having trouble, and then click to be confirmed. And once you do that, then you can click confirm now again, and maybe that'll help it go quicker. But it just takes a couple seconds, and then everybody should be moving along. So that's about it. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. All right. Enjoy your map testing.